And there's a common question, how important is a business plan versus doing whatever it takes to make it work, to hustle? Like, how do you think about balancing that? And like, how do you get started? And what advice do you have to folks to just get their business started, to grow the business?
You gotta be brave enough to do it. Bravery with a plan is better. I'm not a planner. So I saw a barbershop on sale on the internet and I bought it. And then I went and told my wife, hey, I bought a barbershop. And she didn't talk to me for 2 weeks. Now my wife is a planner, you know, because her grandmother ran a liquor house, so she was taught how to write stuff down. And she sat down in a very rudimentary way, said, what are we paying for rent? Damn, you're not a good negotiator. You didn't negotiate good enough on that. What do we get with the shop? Yada, yada, yada. And after she did the numbers, we saw, okay, we can make a couple bucks a month. So she was the planner. So if you're not a planner, it's best to be advised by a mentor, by a partner with a planner, because you do need a plan. Even if it's something rudimentary, saying, I know I have to make this mark to pay this in rent a month. I know I have to do this. You know, am I going to be sleeping in the back of my shop, or am I going to be sleeping above it or have a separate space? Plan. Plan for the first year, especially if you're quitting a job or you're leaving a job. When I did buy the shop, what I did do was I knew I could pay the rent for the first year. You know, I knew I could pay my lights for the first year. I knew I could pay my own rent and lights for the first year. So I made sure that I was covered. I had someone tell me, a small record company owner, pretty successful though, they said, you know, when I paid myself the first, I think, 3 years of his salary, he could have paid himself in the 30s or the 20s. And he chose to pay himself in the 20s and live well under his lifestyle, because had he paid himself in the 30s of thousands, he would have drove himself bankrupt with the stuff that he couldn't have done just by accessing salary. So be prepared to make some sacrifices. I would say make a plan, or partner, or be mentored by, or consult with, or get someone who does plan well and let them help you walk your way through it. And once you have a plan, stick to it as best you can, but be like water. You know, be malleable. If things don't go right, adjust. You know, plan for some things going wrong. And, you know, don't quit. You really have to be tenacious. Like, what did I do wrong yesterday that I can correct today? What did I do correct yesterday that I can replicate? What works? Like, one of our barbers throws parties without our permission. And we found out, and you have a decision. I can fire this person, but the parties were successful. And it drew people to our shop as a cultural center beyond just a barbershop. And that helped me sell more t-shirts. And I like selling t-shirts because I don't have to share that money with anybody but my wife. So we just said, well, these are the new rules. It only happens on Fridays. It happens from the time shop closes to an hour and a half to 2 hours after. And these are the rules and parameters. And this is what is extra in your booth rent since you had this bright idea. But instead of getting rid of someone who had a bright idea because my ego said I didn't know about it, I embraced the energy of it, and it's turned into something that helps me sell more t-shirts, you know?
Amazing. Woo! Amazing.